Welcome. My name is Yana the Heretic, and this is my channel, The Unpopular Opinion Becoming Popular. I'm doing a little bit of resurfacing back-to-back videos. We just did Gate 61, and now we're going into Gate 60. And Gate 60 is what I consider to be the end and the death of things and the limitation of your body. We are once again in the Godhead, keepers of the wheel, and this is definitely a pressured time. So what limitation brings to the forefront of our minds is, well, I didn't get a chance to finish this. I didn't quite reach my goals in 2024. I didn't fully grasp this concept, and now I have to go back. This is the limitation of your body. So sometimes we hustle so fucking far into our life that we don't ever take the time to sit and rest and to recuperate or to allow our body to really feel anything. So that's why people are numb to a lot of different things in their life, because there's no time, and luckily enough, even though I am not a huge fan of winter, especially this year was like a hard oncoming to winter, I consider it to be really vital to be able to experience winter and the death of the body and the mind, and to get yourself out of that. So the inner transformation within the quarter of mutation is happening internally, and it's about seeing a different light on similar subjects. So being able to shift your perspective to continue onward. And limitation allows you to just be really real with yourself, because trying to push through the season is very challenging. Like, of course, I'm going to get up and I'm going to work out and like try to help and heal my body because it needs that natural movement. It doesn't mean that it's easy. It doesn't mean that it's fun necessarily to do that. So I allow my body to be moody and, a little bit more depressed in order to know that, hey, like, I'm getting tired of sitting, or I'm getting tired of being this fucking bored. So it therefore allows me to push through in the spring to do all the things that I need to do and accomplish. But realistically, like, if you don't sit down and master something, you're never going to be ready to show your work. I'm a musician and an artist, and hope to be a performer this year and to push past those limitations. And sometimes it's really fucking real what you're capable of, and it's just your mind affecting you, pushing through those limitations. But some of us have actual body limitations, physical limitations. Obviously, like, Joe Dispenza gets tons of money per seminar. Like, each person's paying like 10 grand to be able to cancel out, these traumas in the mind. And it's going to take some time, if you're on that path, to believe that, within meditation and breath work, you're able to resolve the limitations of the body. But some of us are born blind and deaf and with ailments, and until you really are facing it head on, you cannot push past those things as easily as others. And allowing yourself to deal with that and to face that, you get amazing, charismatic, beings that, like, those people that skateboard and they don't even have like legs, or they're in a wheelchair and they're like going down these deep bowls and just like annihilating fear. So that's the really like fortunate upside to the limitation, is that you can always push past your limitations no matter what they are. You can get off the addiction wagon if you really are ready to face that, and to face your mind. So there's different pressures here. This one is about fuel. So 61 was all about mental pressure. This one is actually like physical pressure, like how much fuel do you have in order to face these limitations. And it is, let's see, the gate of acceptance. So being able to accept that, change is truly the only consistent thing that's occurring in your life. This is the channel of transformation. So it can look like chaos and doubt, and then there's clarity in the mix. So we don't actually have 3 accompanying Gate 60 this week, so it doesn't really feel as like transformative right away. But Gate 60 allows us to really see that, there is all of the stuff that we haven't really done yet, and we're capable of pushing through in order to do those things. And we are transforming slowly but surely, even though you don't see it. So, having Gate 60 in your chart, it always feels like you're going like fractions at a time. You're not really like getting all of the headway done in order to see and be relieved by how much has changed right away. It's more like minute changes that you don't really notice, and they're still happening, and only at the very end, which could look like 6 months, a year, whatever it is, you're like, holy shit, like I don't have that problem anymore. Like I completely, let that shit die. So this also brings light upon the essence of how you feel about death. So this is all about death, and how death is absolutely necessary for all things that are living to die. I don't know what the beliefs are for people. The majority of us are talking about reincarnation lately, so knowing that even in death there is transformation, and that you become a different type of energy source, and usually karma is fated. So some people believe they can choose, whatever life path they have next. So allowing yourself to get comfortable with death, no matter what you believe realistically, because death is the driving force for every being. We want to have children within a certain amount of time, because statistics say that when you're 50 years old or 40 years old, you're not able to easily have children, and you're not as fertile to have these children, or to raise them without having your energy just completely deflate. Like there's a huge difference between children whose parents were young compared to older parents that raised children. So see where you are, see where you land on that spectrum. I was a firstborn, so my depiction of life is completely different than my brother's, who is 12 years younger than me. And everyone's always rushing to accomplish things before they die. Usually, like a lot of performers and musicians, they talk about dying at 27, and they lived like a really potent life and, you know, born to die young type thing. So it really like fizzled out, you know, and it was an exaltation of their existence, really. I used to glorify those things, but I'm 31 now, and you know, I'm happy to be alive and happy to push through to see the other side of the alchemical transformation that is occurring. And it is uncomfortable as fuck to age and grow older, and you know, being able to be real with yourself and to keep that like personal, and to know that, hey, like, shit happens, you know, like we all are working towards something before we die, whether that's writing a book. You know, we want to be known for something typically, and that's totally okay, whatever it looks like, you know. The driving force is there because we do die. If we didn't die, then we would get bored. You know, all those like vampire movies, like of them living forever and just being in such agony because they've already tried everything, they've already experienced everything, and they've lived for, you know, eras and centuries. So that is a very interesting perspective. Like, you'll get bored if you don't die. You know, nothing really has a purpose because you're not really running out of time. So yeah, it's fascinating to have to end the year with this gate. It doesn't always end up this way, but we're here. We're at the end, you know, of the wheel. We have one more gate within, you know, two more gates within the quarter of mutation, and then it'll seal up, and we'll be onward past this internal transformation. You know, getting through the doubt, getting through, you know, all of the endings, putting them away into the soil. And we got, you know, a few more months in winter here on in the northwest. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, the rise of energy again. Yeah, I mean, the other thing that I wanted to mention is this can be like the most depressive gate, typically, especially in our root center, the most depressive one, because it's not really assured clarity. It's always like sifting through doubt. It's the pressure to keep doing stuff, to keep achieving, to keep the fuel moving. People who have their root defined typically feel like they have more time. I do not have my root defined, and I feel like I'm always running out of time, and I treat things like a task most of the time. So it's nice to be able to simmer and to learn how to sit, and especially in other people's auras that have their root defined, it's just to slow down and to really like realize that, you know, I'm not always like needing to do something right then and there. Obviously my fuel didn't surpass like getting these this weather channel up to date right away. So forgive me for not having the fuel, but I'm back at it, and excited to share my creations with a lot of people. So I hope you find this ending with like pause, just taking in the things that have ended for you in 2024, and to relocate yourself and to relocate what your driving force is for 2025. It can be very confusing until you really like surpass this gate, especially if you don't have it naturally occurring in your chart. The questions of the week: are you at the center of your wheel, or are you in the midst of someone else's wheel? What is the limitation present? So some of us, limitation looks like, well, I really have to take care of this family member. They're not doing very well and they need care every single day in order to survive. And that's a very realistic thing that people go through. And it's a very honorable thing. It's very selfless, even though you may sit there and you hate it and you hate seeing, this person in confusion and grief and pain. Like, it's a really real thing. That could be some way that you were in the midst of somebody else's wheel. When you're at the center of your wheel, or you are turning the wheel, it's a lot more, you feel a lot more confidence there, just because you're not spending your time, having to take care of somebody else. You're most likely just keeping yourself independent and in check. So what does that look like to you? What feels better? Being able to live for somebody else, or to be able to really be at the center of your own fate or transformation. And what does that look like for you? How does control play into that? Do you feel better having life move a certain way without your control, or do you feel better being in control of your life? It's always interesting to see what comes through when you do write about these things, and certain shifts have a time frame. So allow yourself to have a time frame, and you're in a situation or relationship that you have the control to exit, or you have support to be able to exit. Go for that. Definitely there's a time frame there. Give yourself a certain amount of time. Like, I will absolutely try this out and try to make this work, but after 2 months I may rethink my future and what needs to be done for me. So assess where you're at with that. Are you feeling the risk to take on a new cycle of self-discovery? This may be the week for you. See who comes forward to join. So there are other channels in our body graph in this transit this week, and these channels are transformation, the channel of discovery, the design of transitoriness. So the desire to seek new experiences, the desire and drive to see things differently, and finding the support group that fuels that. So if you do have any risks that you have taken, how have they played out in your life during this transit? And it's not quite the end, so be able to, sit with whatever risks are present and allow, those people to come forward to join you within this transformation period. What ritual brings you clarity and patience? Exercise this method, or find a new and exciting way to do this. So the clarity and patience comes from, the constant, like, it counteracts the pressure to constantly want to do something and not sit still, and to, really use your fuel when perhaps you have to accept that you don't have the fuel. So what really comes through, and what brings you clarity and patience and groundedness through this? Did you find yourself wanting to grow up fast when you were little? and wanting to be younger once you grew up? If so, at what age did that change? Or did you look forward to growing older consistently? So I know a lot of like youths, they wanted to be older when they were little. And at the age where that really shifted for me was probably around like 20, when, you know, like people start talking about age and all that kind of, you know, stuff where it's like scary to age. You know, I'm actually pretty content with aging now because I know that there is always transformation present, and it's heartwarming to see the things that I learn and the things that I am capable of adapting to through my experience. But, you know, that's not where people are making money, you know, in this capitalist system. They're all making money preventing, you know, death and aging. And the more people accept that that is inevitable, the healthier your body is. You're not always trying to fight gravity and to, you know, basically just like put yourself through a lot, you know. I am definitely still going through my process in my 30s and understanding aging, so there are doubts there. So, you know, sometimes I think that more people would benefit, though, being able to age gracefully, because trying to fight it is endless. It really, truly is endless. And allowing yourself to accept what is inevitable, but being healthy, but treating your body well, having a routine that exercises your mind and your strength and your body. Very important ways to counteract aging. We got one more question. How does this idea of death create a driving force to live? So, what is happening for you? What is the pressure that is present in order to move your body, especially in the oncoming months where sunlight will be more prevalent in our day to day, especially in if you're experiencing winter at this time. So, yeah, it was a potent end to channel or gate 60, and I am here if you have any questions or desire to deliver some stories, some things, some truths, some hard truths, whatever it is, just let me know, and I'm here to listen. And back on the weather channel accordingly, so hopefully TikTok doesn't get fully banned, because I would definitely want to hear from all of you guys more readily. So, yeah, have a lovely rest of your day. Take care.